Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on Morgan County's B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network this afternoon from Legion Field in Fort Morgan. It's the Fort Morgan Mustangs entertaining the Thompson Valley Eagles. I'm John Beltran with Brian Nickel. We'll be getting a little bit of an early start here with the Mustangs at 6-3, coming off a victory. Of course, it was a split doubleheader, so to speak, because Fort Morgan had a regularly scheduled game against Mountain View on Tuesday. Had a 5-3 lead, let that slip away, could not rally, and lost really what is a critical game. That final score was 6-5, and then they completed a suspended game in Berthoud. They had to drive the 12 miles there to Berthoud after the game started here on Friday, May 14th. Fort Morgan had a 2-1 lead, expanded it to 6-1 in Berthoud, and then held on as Berthoud put together a furious rally in the top of the seventh inning, but the Mustangs won that game by a score of 6-4, so they're 5-1 in league play and 6-3, as I mentioned, overall. Thompson Valley is 3-6 overall. But Brian, when you look at this division, when you look at the league, anybody really can beat anybody. It seems it's very well balanced.
Yeah, it seems to be that way. I mean, Mountain View is, we've lost twice to Mountain View, and they're 6th or 7th in the standings in the league, so anybody can beat anybody. And this is a game they got to have from here on out if they want to try to get into the playoffs. I know they had dropped down to number 21 in the RPI. I don't know if it had changed any by today or not, but I know 21, so you're not leaving yourself much room. Then you got Severance on Saturday. They're sitting at number 2 in the league. So
they're 6-2 in league play and 7-2 overall in this Longs Peak League. So a critical contest today here for the Mustangs. And let's get to the starting lineup here for Thompson Valley. Batting first is the left fielder Javier Flores. John Kluss, the catcher, hits second. He's actually in center field. The third hitter is James Dykin, the DH. Batting fourth is the first baseman Landon Carlson. The catcher Jay Douglas hits fifth. Kellen Schultz, the shortstop, bats sixth. First baseman, make it third baseman Jake Engeland hits seventh. Zach McVeigh, the second baseman, hits eighth. And Riley Suarez in right field bats ninth. Hunter Anderson is on the mound. For the Mustangs defensively, Malachi Bills is at first. The second baseman is Brayden Fajardo. Over at third is Frank Ortega. In between him at short is Nick Beltran. Around the outfield, it's Malachi. Check that. Why am I saying Malachi? And Levi McCoy in left. The center fielder is Briggs Wheatley. And right is K.O. Langford. Behind the plate is Jackson Langford. And on the mound, pitching very well this season, at least as a starter. Had that struggle against Northridge as Jesse Campa has won his 2 starts of the season. Overall, he's 2-0 with a 3.59 ERA, even better as a starter. As we get to the opening pitch of this game, brought to you by High Plains Bank, your friendly local community bank serving Wiggins and all surrounding areas. High Plains Bank. Mustangs in their home blacks and the gold uniforms for Thompson Valley. And the opening pitch swung on and popped up left side, foul territory. Long run for Ortega. The third baseman has room, now backs up, and he dropped the ball. Oh, boy, Frank has really struggled defensively this year. 6 errors now on him. That's a routine play. He overran it and then had to come back to his left. And, Brian, there is no wind. There is zero wind. You've got to make that play. And this is the reason Fort Morgan, and it happened to be the third base position when they couldn't make a play in the fifth inning against Mountain View, lost that game 6-5. And the pitch, and the bender swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. To the right-handed hitting Javier Flores with an open stance. And the offering, and the curveball is upstairs. 1-2. Yeah, it drives you crazy after a while to watch plays like that. I mean, Frank's a really good athlete, but for some reason he's had significant struggles defensively, primarily at third. The pitch, swing and a foul off the end of the bat on the breaking ball. It remains at 1-2. And he knew it. He tapped his own glove as soon as he dropped that ball. And that was really more his play than the shortstop Beltran, because it was in foul territory almost parallel to where he's playing. And the pitch swung on and grounded slowly left side, and Frank Ortega's got it. The throw to first is in time. That's a nice play on that tricky 2-hopper to his left, and that's why it's frustrating. He makes a really nice play in the hole there. Beltran has to handle that ball. That's going to be an infield hit, but Frank Ortega makes the play, and there's one down.
Yeah, that was a nice play there by Frankie, but it's kind of a high sky today. Maybe he lost that pop up, but he was right under it and just didn't gauge it.
Now batting is the left-handed hitting John Kluss. And the righty Campa delivers. Fastball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. This game started at 3:56 start time. Just a tad early. Campa with an easy delivery. And that's upstairs. Took something off at 2-0. Yeah, Fort Morgan, as you mentioned, they've got to win games here at a rampant rate. They are 6-3, but it's a tight playoff race with just 24 teams instead of 32. And the 2-0. And that's on the outside corner for a strike. Ball 2, strike 1. 1 out just underway here from Legion Field. The Mustangs and Thompson Valley Eagles in game number 10 for Thompson Valley and number 10 for Fort Morgan. The Mustangs at 6-3, the Eagles at 3-6. Laying down the sign is Langford, 2-1 pitch, and the breaking ball is upstairs. Ball 3, strike 1 to John Kluss with James Dyken waiting to hit next. And rarely has Jesse got into hitters counts the last couple of games. He's been ahead of most hitters. But right now he's down 3-1, and that is low. It's a walk. So Kluss reaches, and here is Dyken batting from the right side. We'll get some numbers here momentarily on Thompson Valley and what they have done on the offensive end. Mustangs, we say this often at double play depth, haven't had a ton of opportunities to turn to. The pitch swung on, popped up into right field. Cale Langford in 5 steps and makes the grab, and there's 2 down. Well, that breaking ball working real well on a couple of pitches here for Jesse Campa. Back to first is Kluss. Here's Landon Carlson. Another right-handed hitter. Landon Carlson. Another right-handed hitter. Thompson Valley as a team is hitting .276. Carlson is tearing it up. The team leader with a .414 average. Throw back to first, back in diving is Kluss. So this is the guy you got to get out. You never want him with men on base, but that's the case right now. 2-step lead with a big open stance. And the pitch swung on and grounded foul off the left side. No balls and 1 strike. And you would think, looking at this rotation, that Briggs Wheatley's the number 1 and Jesse's the number 2, but he's just as effective.
Yeah.
They just have different styles altogether.
Yeah, Jesse has that real easy motion and doesn't seem to have the pop on it like that was close over at first.
Yeah, very close.
He just doesn't have the fastball that Briggs does, but it's very effective what he throws.
Yeah, you just got to keep hitters off balance. Just past the top of the hour, 4:01 Mountain Time. This is KPRB, Brush, Fort Morgan, Morgan County's B106. Swung on and lifted into shallow right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Kluss is rounding second. Now they're going to throw behind him, but he's going to be in there. Back in there, and that was fisted out there. So first and second with 2 down. Didn't hit that hard whatsoever, but in the perfect spot here for Jay Douglas. Douglas hitting just 150 out of the 5-hole here. So that's either a good sign or not good for Fort Morgan because he's overdue. But you've got any base right now. In the top of the first inning, Thompson Valley threatening with 2 down. Game time temperature 73 degrees, the stretch. And the offering. And down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Got to be careful with any pickoffs here. Again, Fort Morgan's made mistakes on pickoffs this season. They did get a pickoff of a berthed runner on Tuesday. And the 1-0. And that's a strike on the outside corner with a fastball, and the count levels at 1-1. Other reason you have to make plays defensively, you restrict your pitcher's count. Jesse's throwing more pitches than he needs to in this frame. And the 1-1 And that's in the dirt with a breaking ball. Ball 2, strike 1 with Kellen Schultz on deck. The Mustangs want to see him bat in the second. As Brian mentioned, a huge game coming up on Saturday, but not as huge if they don't win this game. Well, actually, it could be even more important. 2 balls, 1 throw back to first and the tag. And at first base is Landon Carlson on the back pick. Well, that was a beautiful play, a pickoff there of Carlson, and that does it. Here in the top of the first for Thompson Valley, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. Thompson Valley does not score, and the Mustangs are coming to bat on B106. B106.com and the Eastern Plains Sports Network will be back here momentarily as we're still trying to reconnect and get to our commercial break here from Legion Field in Fort Morgan. We'll keep it right here for just a second. And we'll be back in 30 seconds on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Tremendous pickoff there of Landon Carlson to end the top of the first inning. And now we head to the bottom of the first. The starting lineup has Briggs Wheatley batting in the leadoff position for Fort Morgan. Batting second is Jackson Langford. The third hitter is the shortstop Nick Beltran. Jesse Camp, the pitcher, hits fourth. The second baseman Brayden Fajardo bats fifth. Right fielder K.O. Langford at sixth. First baseman at seventh. That's Malachi Bills. Frank Ortega, the third baseman, at eighth. And Levi McCoy, the left fielder, hits ninth. Defensively, Landon Carlson is at first. Zach McVeigh at second. Jack Engelin is at third. The shortstop in between them is Kellen Schultz. And the outfielders, Javier Flores in left. The center fielder is John Kluss. In right field is Riley Suarez. Behind the plate is Jay Douglas. And on the mound, right-hander Hunter Anderson. Anderson on the year with an ERA of 0. 6 innings. Well, let's see how looks pretty effective so far. 4 walks, 9 strikeouts. He's allowed a run, but that was unearned. So a limited amount of work for this right-hander. Here is Briggs Wheatley stepping in for the Mustangs from the left side, batting .281. Leads the team in extra base hits. And the offering swung on and lifted into right field, but that's going to be a routine play out there, ranging to his right and making the grab for the out is Riley Suarez. There's one down. He got underneath that pitch.
Yeah, didn't wait on it. He was, it was a pitch he liked. He just got under it and lifted it too much.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a huge gap in right center for him, and now it's the same gap for Jackson Langford. Out of the number 2 hole. The stretch and the offering. And that ball nearly hit him off the glove of the catcher. Douglas to the screen. 1 ball and no strikes. Jackson batting .344. Got 4 guys hitting in the 300s, including the on-deck hitter, Nick Beltran. And the 1-0 pitch. Fastball is low, and there's an odd hitch in Douglas's delivery. He actually stops. It's not the hesitation like the Kyle Freeland. He actually almost like stops. It's a double hitch. 2 balls and no strikes, and a pitch. Actually, he brings his leg up, puts it down, and brings it up again, which you never see. 3 balls and no strikes on a pitch that was outside. Here to Jackson Langford.
Must be something comfortable to him, but it looks like a lot of extra wasted energy.
And the 3-0 pitch. That's a strike with a fastball down the middle. It's 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike to Langford. 1 out. Bases empty in the first. No score. And the offering. Swung on, grounder to first. It's going to be a routine play for Landon Carlson. He steps in the bag, and Langford is out number 2. Sends up Beltran, hitting .379 on the season. Left-handed hitter for Fort Morgan, a senior. Again, every game is competitive in this league. I don't care if Thompson Valley's 3-6. Maybe Niwot is at the bottom, but Even they have competed this year. The pitch, fastball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Nick Beltran on a glorious Thursday afternoon. Not too many clouds in the sky. And the 1-0. And that ball hit him in the foot. A breaking ball that got him on the front foot, so Beltran is on with 2 down. And that'll send up Jesse Campa. That would help. Some 2-out thunder by the Mustangs here. Campa doubled his last game, and he's batting .241. He has driven in 6. Let's see a possible hit and run or something to get the runner started with 2 down. Throw back to first. Beltran back in diving. Ball is dropped by Carlson anyway. Fort Morgan lost their first 2 games, won 5 in a row, lost to Mountain View, and then beat Berthoud 6-4. Short lead, the pitch. Swung on, popped up, but that one is headed towards the screen. Giving chase is Douglas, and, he could have gotten to that. It was just shy of the fence, but he never ripped off the mask and got a slow jump. And it's no balls and 1 strike. Campa gets a reprieve there. Yeah, it was not popped straight up, but it did not go over the fence. He had room. Not too much of it, but had some space. Short lead for Beltran. 1-step lead. Stretched by Douglas. The pitch. And that's a fastball for a strike on the inside corner. At the knees, it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Again, a short advantage for Beltran. Laying down the sign is Douglas. Campo waits. Runner goes. Swung on, popped up into towards the left, the third baseman, I didn't spot the ball immediately. Jake Engelland makes the catch. On the ball, popped to third, and that does it for the Mustangs here in the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. And a base runner left. Let's head to the second inning in Fort Morgan. The Mustangs and Thompson Valley Eagles are scoreless after 1. Mustang Baseball is brought to you in part by Stubbs Gas and Oil on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Let's head to the second inning. The hitter for Thompson Valley will be Jay Douglas. He was the hitter when Landon Carlson was picked off at first. No score, as the Mustangs had a base runner, did nothing with the base runner. The only hit of the game has come from Thompson Valley. Pitch, swung on and fouled straight back. No balls and 1 strike. And if Jesse throws this game, all Fort Morgan needs is 4 or 5 runs, if even that. He's won 3-1 this year against Frederick and 7-2 against Thompson Valley, against Mountain View. The pitch and the breaking ball is right there for a strike. It's 0-2. That start against Roosevelt. I think I said 2 schools wrong. Roosevelt 7-2. That was a week ago today. Second game of a doubleheader. And the pitch, fastball is a little bit up and away. Ball 1, strike 2. Even when he misses, he's right there.
Yeah, he's not missing by much.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Jay Douglas, the number 5 hitter in this Thompson Valley lineup. And Campa kicks and delivers. Swung on and fouled straight back. Just reached that bat out towards the outer edge.
Got him off balance.
Remains at 1-2. These first hitters are always huge in every inning. Everything feels like a playoff game in a shortened season. And the offering in the dirt with a breaking ball. Count levels at 2-2. Jesse was the winning pitcher in a D-Legion game when he was going into 8th grade back in 2017. So he's pitched clutch games before. The pitch swung on, grounded left side. Ortega's got it. The third baseman fires to first, and making the tag as Bills. The throw is up the first base side, and there's 1 down still. Frankie's got to make those throws. But he made the play so quickly that Bills had plenty of time to apply the tag. 1 down here for the number 6 hitter, Kellen Schultz. Schultz for Thompson Valley, hitting .231. And the offering in the dirt with a breaking ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Premier Farm Credit understands production ag. They've been serving our rural communities for over 100 years. Sterling, Fort Morgan, Human, Holyoke. Premier Farm Credit in the dirt, ball 2. And we know the one thing with Fort Morgan, they have not been effective this year offensively in the early innings.
Yeah.
It takes them a while to get going.
4th, 5th inning seemed like they finally wake up.
I mean, there are some exceptions, but they're rare exceptions. 2-0 pitch. Down and away. I don't know if there's such a thing as a rare exception, just an exception. 3-0. Jake Engelin, the third baseman, is waiting on deck. And I'm not sure Jesse's on his game completely because he already walked a hitter in the first inning, and he's behind this hitter, 3-0. That's right down the middle for a strike, and you look at the ball-to-strike ratio, 14 strikes, 12 balls unofficially. 3 balls and 1 strike to Kellen Schultz with 1 down and the bases empty in the second. No score. And the offering. Swing and a miss on a pitch up and in. It's 3-2.
Had him fooled on that one.
Well, the pitch gets right on top of you quickly, whether it's a fastball or an off-speed. Not easy to read. And the 3-2. That is a called strike 3 right down the middle above the knees. And Kellen Schultz is out number 2.
Nice looking pitch. He thought he was headed to first base, but the umpire rang him up.
Well, I think he knew he was going to be strike 3, but I think he thought it was going to be a breaking ball. If that would have been a breaking ball, probably would have been low. Nice job of Jesse Campa coming back from a 3-0 mess there. The pitch swung on and lifted to center field. Right there to his left is Briggs Wheatley, and it's a 1-2-3 top of the second inning for junior right-hander Jesse Campa. Let's head to the third. Mustang Baseball brought to you in part by High Plains Bank. It's Fort Morgan nothing, Thompson Valley nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Okay, we'll keep it right here for just a second. Apparently, we are trying to reestablish our connection to take a break here. So we will keep it right here. And now, hopefully, back in 30 on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Let's head to the bottom of the second inning. And it's no score between the Mustangs and the Thompson Valley Eagles. And it'll be Brayden Fajardo for Fort Morgan after the 1-2-3 inning. Here by Jesse Campa, who's allowed a hit over the first 2 innings, followed by K.O. Langford and Malachi Bills. Fajardo waits the pitch here from the right-hander. Swung on, that's popped up. That's a weak fly into left field. Javier Flores locating the baseball, makes the two-handed grab, and Fort Morgan has got to be a little bit more patient. They're swinging early, and they're swinging underneath the baseball. There's one down. Yeah. We've already seen 3 of those, Brian, in the early going.
Yeah, I don't know if there's something I don't know that they've seen this pitcher before. We know they haven't, but they're sure jumping on that first pitch and not making him work a little bit.
Here's K.O. Langford hitting from the right side, 375 hitter. The offering, squaring to bunt, and he lays it down right back to the pitcher. That's not a good bunt. He's thrown out by about 3 steps. K.O.'s normally a good bunter, but that was right back to the pitcher. 2 down on 2 pitches. Again, it takes them a while to execute offensively. And with a team like Thompson Valley at 3-6, you keep them in this game for that long, the advantage is going to go to them. Here's the pitch to Malachi Bills, and he takes a breaking ball for a strike. That's only the 14th pitch thrown, and this is the 7th hitter in the lineup. And we saw they didn't work MacArthur certain innings for Mountain View, and he went the distance on less than 100 pitches. And the 0-1, and the fastball is upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Malachi hitting over 300 as well. Here's the wine and offering. And that fastball is down the middle for a strike, thigh high. And it's 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The kick and the pitch. Swung on, line towards center field. Coming on and fielding it on one hop is John Kluss. And the Mustangs have their first hit of the game. Here's Frank Ortega. And Malachi already was coming in with an average of .357. So he's closing in on Beltran, who had the team lead going in, and he was hit by a pitch earlier. And Frank's got to find his swing. He's been hitting the ball poorly. 172 average, the pitch. And he pops it up on the right side. Again, that I don't know why he's swinging at the first pitch. The first baseman nearly collides with a pitcher. They both go to the ground, but the catch is made by Carlson. The catch is made by Carlson, but again, you don't change your approach, and that's what happens. You hit a fly ball about 15 feet up the first base line, and the Mustangs are done in the bottom of the second inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. Brian Nickel will take you through innings 3 through 5. The score, Fort Morgan nothing, Thompson Valley nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Top of the third we go. It will be Zach McVeigh, the second baseman for Thompson Valley, followed by Riley Suarez. No score here as Jesse Campa back on the hill for the Mustangs. And time is called at the plate. Zach McVeigh only hitting it .067. 1 hit, played in 6 games. So Jesse Campa with the signal and the pitch. And that was a big swing and a miss there by McVeigh on that fastball from Jesse Campa. Jackson Langford behind the dish today for the Mustangs. And the pitch, and that's going to be fouled out of play down the right field side. No balls, 2 strikes to Zach McVeigh of the Thompson Valley Eagles.
I am concerned about Fort Morgan's offensive approach. It has looked really weak here so far with all these pop-ups, Brian. But if they can play defense, then they get back into that dugout and make the adjustments.
Campa with the delivery, and that's going to be upstairs for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the number 8 hitter. Riley Suarez on deck. Javier Flores in the hole. Campa gets the sign from Langford. And the delivery. And that's going to be hit out to short left field. And I guess it fell in out there for the single. Fell in between Beltran and McCoy. They just couldn't quite catch up to it.
Boy, that's a Texas leaguer I've ever seen one. Beltran went to a slide, but couldn't make the play. That's just a straight-up base hit, and bad luck for the Mustangs on a pop fly, and those are the type of hits you might get today with these 2 off-speed pitchers.
So Riley Suarez has to throw over to first, but back safely is McVeigh.
I'm just glad there wasn't an injury there.
Yeah.
When you have 3 converging like that.
So Campa checks his runner and the pitch, and that's going to be fouled off to the right and out of play, with McVeigh down at first.
Yeah, you get a feeling in this game, if somebody falls behind by the 5th or 6th inning, unless there's adjustments made, that team offensively is going to be in trouble.
So Campa over to first, throw. Now that ball is going to be down the right field line, and that's going to send McVeigh to at least second, and they're going to send him to third to throw over, and it's going to be late. So McVeigh all the way to third.
This is just, it's inexcusable. If Fort Morgan wants to contend for a playoff berth, they've got to knock off this nonsense. That's 5 errors this year on pickoffs at first base. 5. Ridiculous.
So now
ridiculous.
Runner in scoring position for McVeigh, or for Suarez, and that's going to be hit out into left center field. And it looks like McCoy, that ball falls. I thought they were going to get under it there, so that will bring in the first run of the game.
Nobody called for it.
Nope.
I mean, that's either McCoy's running to the baseball, but Wheatley didn't call him off either. I mean, that lands, I don't know if I think it landed right between them. That is inexcusable as well. And I'm telling you, this has the feeling of the Mountain View game. You're messing around, and if you don't make adjustments offensively and you make bonehead plays defensively, then watch out, because Mountain View had a 3-5 record. They lost. This team is 3-6, and they're down 1-0 on a gift single, and then an error, and then a mental error.
So Flores with the bunt, it's going to be foul though up the left baseline. So that will send Riley Suarez back to first.
Sometimes it's very hard to watch this action when you see all that talent out there and what has happened here in the third inning. Again, the Texas Leaguer can't do anything about that. But that's 5, even though they had a pickoff in the first inning, that is 5 times. Can you imagine that? I mean, major league teams don't do that in a season.
Yeah.
And Fort Morgan's done that now in less than 10 games.
So Campa checks the runner and the pitch, and that's going to be fouled back to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes to the number 1 hitter in the lineup, Javier Flores. He grounded out his first time up. So it'd be nice for a double play here for the Mustangs. A hard hit ball to short, throw over. That was,
jeez, right into the ground again.
Yeah. Jesse usually has a pretty good throw over there, but the last 2 have been low.
I mean, is it worth it? Is it worth this nonsense to keep doing this? You had 1 pickoff, and normally 1 is the most you'll ever get in a game.
So Campa with a delivery. That is fouled back.
And the runner was going. He had a huge jump there on the breaking ball, but it's still 0-2. Yeah, I'm telling you, their season's going to be on the line in this game alone. If they don't focus, Fort Morgan has got significant holes on a team that is very talented.
So Campa checks his runner at first. And the delivery. And that breaking ball must have missed upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Javier Flores, the left fielder. John Kluss on deck. Campa with the look over at first, and the delivery. Runner is going. Throw down, 1 bouncer, and that's going to be plenty of time. Nice job there by Jackson Langford to throw out that runner there. Riley Suarez.
Tag was applied by Fajardo, 2-4. That's a great throw. I mean, he didn't get there on the fly. On 1 hop, that's all you need. You don't have to get it there on the fly. As long as you get it there in the right position, and Brayden was waiting for the baseball.
So now 1 out. And the pitch. And that is going to be strike 3 called. Nice pitch there by Jesse Campa.
And painted the outside corner.
So now quickly 2 outs with nobody on. But Thompson Valley with 1 in. After a throwing error by the pitcher over to first, sent McVeigh all the way around to third. And the pitch. And that breaking ball is in there for a strike. So no balls and 1 strike to John Kluss. He walked his first time up. On deck is James Dyken. And the delivery. And that ball is going to be hit. See if somebody calls this one out to left field. Out there is Levi McCoy, and he comes down with it for the out number 3 here in the 3rd inning. So 1 in for Thompson Valley. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd with the Thompson Valley leading 1-0 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Mustang Baseball is brought to you in part by High Plains Bank. Here on Morgan County's B106, I'm John Beltran with Brian Nickel. We'll be right back.
So we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Mustangs down now 1-0. Levi McCoy up for the Mustangs. He will lead off, then back to the top of the lineup with Briggs Wheatley and then Jackson Langford.
And this Thompson Valley right-hander Hunter Anderson's been pretty effective so far, allowing the 1 hit to Malachi Bills. And Fort Morgan has swung underneath a ton of pitches, and they have not worked him at all. 18 pitches to retire 6 hitters. And that doesn't count Beltran, who was hit by a pitch, and Bills, who got a base hit.
So Levi in from the right side. He is batting at 286. And the pitch. And that is a swing and a miss on that fastball. No balls and 1 strike to the number 9 hitter for the Mustangs. Anderson with the pitch, and that catches the uniform, so that will send Levi McCoy down to first.
It either got the jersey, Brian, or it grazed his forearm, because that's what the umpire was pointing at. So either way, I don't care at this point. The Mustangs, 2 of the 3 base runners have been on via hit by pitch. They just got to do anything they can with a very good hitter, Briggs Wheatley, up there, but even he swung at the first pitch and hit a very routine fly to right his first time up.
See if they'll work him a little bit here. Hunter Anderson checks McCoy at first. Going to throw over. McCoy not very much of a lead, and he's back in safely. Briggs bats from the left side. On deck is Jackson Langford. Anderson with the pitch, and that is going to be way outside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes.
That's a good thing. Now it's the second pitch. At least just see something, even if it's way out of the strike zone. Now you can feel more settled in the batter's box.
Anderson checks McCoy over at first. And the pitch, and that ball is going to be hit foul off the left and out of play. So that evens it up at 1 ball and 1 strike.
And we know when Briggs hits the ball, he hits it hard, at least when he gets on base. He hits it hard. That's why he leads in extra base hits. Got a bunch of doubles and a triple there in the last game, or 2 games ago.
Anderson with the pitch, and that's going to be in the dirt. But nice stop there by Jay Douglas to keep that ball in front of him. Keeps McCoy at first. So 2 balls and 1 strike.
And they're really pulling, or playing Briggs to pull, I should say.
If he could go opposite field down that left field line, that is going to be tapped back right out to the pitcher. The only play is going to be at first. So that'll send Levi McCoy to second.
Well, Briggs was way, way out in front, right off the end of the bat. The runner does advance, though, which is a good thing, trailing 1-0 to Thompson Valley in the third with 1 out.
So we'll see if they can bring him in scoring position. Jackson Langford, catcher for the Mustangs. Grounded out his first time up. And the pitch, and that's going to be hit out to the second baseman. That will advance McCoy. And over to first on the tag. But that will advance Levi, but now there are 2 outs.
Well, Nick's got to be smart here because, again, first pitch swinging in this game for Fort Morgan has been not good. I believe 0 for 5. First pitch swinging, at least that ball was hit on the ground.
So Anderson with the pitch and the delivery, and that is going to be upstairs to Nick Beltran. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. 1-0 Thompson Valley here in the bottom of the third. And the pitch, and that ball is going to be hit sharply down to the first baseman, but out at first will be Beltran. So we will now go to the top of the 4th inning as the Mustangs trail 1-0 here on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Mustang Baseball is brought to you in part by Bank of Colorado, not just a bank in Colorado, their Bank of Colorado. As Brian mentioned, it's a 1-0 lead for Thompson Valley heading to the 4th inning on B106.
Back here at the top of the 4th inning now, it will be James Dyken to lead off. Still warming up is Jesse Campa. The Mustangs are down 1-0 after the Thompson Valley scored in the top of the 3rd after a wild pitch, after a throwing error, from Campa to the first baseman. Sent McVeigh around to 3rd, and Riley Suarez drove him in for the only run here so far in this contest. Jesse Campa with the sign and the delivery, and that is a big swing and a miss. It was a check swing, actually, but it did go around far enough for the strike.
Dyken popped up his first time up.
Campa with the delivery, and that breaking ball is in there. Nice looking pitch there by Jesse Campa. No balls and 2 strikes. The way ahead is Campa. So we'll see if he'll throw him a junk ball here that he'll go after. And the pitch. And that pitch is going to be popped up on the infield. Brayden Fajardo camping under it. And he comes down with it for the out. So pop out to the second baseman, Fajardo. That will bring up Landon Carlson, the cleanup hitter. He is 1-for-1, had a single his first time up.
And he was hitting .414 going into the game. So he's extended, he's increased his batting average.
So Campa gets his signal from Langford and the pitch. And that is going to be low as it gets past Langford to the backstop.
Quick moving game so far, Brian, but the Mustangs have got to get rolling offensively, trailing 1-0 in the top of the fourth inning to Thompson Valley.
Campa with a delivery, and that breaking ball is in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Landon Carlson, the first baseman. On deck is Jay Douglas, the catcher. Campa with the sign and the delivery, and that ball is going to be upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike.
The Mustangs had 1 hit through 4 innings in game 2 of a doubleheader 1 week ago today, and we're trailing Roosevelt 4-0. Had the big 5th inning. They have 1 hit here through 3 against Thompson Valley.
Campa with the delivery, and that's going to be fouled straight back to the fence. So it evens it up now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I believe they had, 9 runs in that 5th inning?
And then 2 more in the 6th and won 11-4 before they swept Roosevelt and won the second game 7-2.
Campa with the sign. One that he likes. And the pitch. And that ball is going to be hit right back to Campa. He stabs it. Runs underhands it over to the first baseman for the out. So nice stop there by Jesse Campa to keep that ball from going into center field. So now 2 outs as we play here in the top of 4. The Thompson Valley leading 1-0. Up now is Jay Douglas. He is 0-for-1, a ground out. As he bats with an open stance from the right side. Campa with a delivery, and that is in there for a strike on the outer corner. No balls and 1 strike. Here in the top of the 4th from a beautiful day here in Fort Morgan. And the pitch, and that ball is going to be hit out to right field, and coming down with it is...
No, he dropped it.
Oh, he dropped it. I'm sorry. I thought he had it. Cale Langford let it get over him.
He had it in his glove, but that's a straight-up double. It's a straight-up double. He was still ranging back. He got twisted around as that ball was hit very well by Douglas, and Thompson Valley has 4 hits in the game and a runner in scoring position.
So that will now bring up Kellen Schultz. He struck out his first time up. We got 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Campa checks his runner over at second. And the pitch. And that's in the dirt. But nice stop there by Jackson Langford. Went out to his left a little bit, but did not go far enough away to advance Douglas to third.
Cale did get a pretty good jump on that ball, but I think he thought it was going to be in the right center field alley more as opposed to towards the line.
Campa with the pitch, and that is a big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. And they're playing Schultz fairly shallow, it looks like to me.
Yep, they are.
So Campa checks his runner out at second. He gets the sign and the delivery, and that is going to be low for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jake Engeland is on deck. Campa with a look back and the delivery, and that's going to be fouled off to the right.
Yeah, let's see Engeland in the 5th inning, Brian. I don't want to see him now.
No.
It's not good for the Mustangs if we see him hit now, because that could be a 2-0 lead. Get this hitter out, and let's go to the bottom of the 4th after getting this final out.
2 balls, 2 strikes. We'll throw him a nice curve ball here and get out of the inning. He checks back. They're going to throw back, actually. Oh, that was close. But they called him safe back in under the throw.
Yeah, he's in there.
Campa with the pickoff move, but came up just a little short. As he looks into Langford for the sign. Going to check his runner once again. And the pitch, and that's going to be hit right to the shortstop, Beltran, on the diving catch. Nice stop out there by Nick Beltran. So the Thompson Valley comes up short here in the top of the fourth. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth with the Mustangs down 1-0 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. The bottom of the fourth we go. The Mustangs with some work to do here as they trail 1-0. Jesse Campa will lead off, followed by Brayden Fajardo and Cale Langford, as they're still warming up. The pitcher here in the bottom of 4. Campa had a fly out his first time up.
B&B Appliance and Repair, from refrigerators to vacuums and everything in between. They have exactly what you need and service it too. B&B Appliance and Repair. The Mustangs have just 1 hit through the first 3 innings, and Thompson Valley's got 4. And Fort Morgan had the opportunity 1 inning ago. Levi McCoy was hit by a pitch. Briggs Wheatley bounced to the mound. Jackson Lanford bounced to second. Nick Beltran bounced to first. So 3 on the ground, but to no avail. They have not struck the ball well, except for 1 swing by Malachi Bills against right-hander Hunter Anderson, who has an ERA of 0 in 9 innings this season.
So Anderson with 27 pitches unofficially here so far. And the pitch, and that is behind Campa.
Well, he went with a breaking ball there, and guess what?
Didn't break.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
The only thing that had a chance of breaking was something on the batter. So.
Right, yeah.
So Anderson with the pitch, and that is going to be upstairs. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. So Campa gets ahead in the count. So should be something here that he should be able to hit.
Or take.
And the pitch. That is going to be up and away. 3 balls and no strikes. So he should be taking here.
And you've got a lot of speed right behind him in Fajardo and Langford. You'd feel so good if you got to the 5th inning, at least tied at 1.
Anderson with a pitch. And that is in there for a strike.
So he's bringing it too. He's throwing some heat there. That's why the Mustangs have got to be smart with the pitches they swing at. But he's also got a good breaking ball. He's got a good all-speed pitch.
So 3 balls, 1 strike. Anderson with a delivery, and that is inside for ball 4. So the Mustangs get the leadoff runner on. And that will bring up Brayden Fajardo. He had a fly out his first time up.
Yeah, let's look at Thompson Valley here in between pitches and some of the opponents they play this year. They lost to Severance 3-1. They're pretty good. To Frederick 9-7. To Riverdale 7-2. They lost to Northridge 7-3. They beat Roosevelt 9-8. They beat Mountain View 9-5 and Frederick 11-1. Huh. They've got enough talent.
Yeah, it's there, and they're ahead 1-0 in this game. So back safely over at first is Campa, as Anderson keeps an eye on him. Fajardo at the plate. On deck is Cale Langford. As Anderson throws back over to first once again, but not even close as Campa back safely. So a slight breeze here from left to right.
It feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Anderson with the pitch, and that ball is going to be fouled back to the screen.
And that was a fat fastball down the middle, and Brayden was nearly on top of that, but fouled it straight back.
Just need to get it straightened out and headed the other way.
Well, they need 2 men on base in a row. That's the one thing. They have not strung together base runners in this game, which is why they trail by the run here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Anderson checks Campa over at first, and the pitch, and that ball is going to be hit foul down the first base line. So now behind in the count is Fajardo, no balls and 2 strikes.
And you can't take anything close either. Do not take anything close. He got rung up against Berthoud in one of those at-bats before he got a base hit. So Anderson looks in, gets the sign, going to throw back over to first, but back in safely is Campa.
So Anderson keeping an eye on Camp over at first. Fajardo down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Fajardo waits, and the pitch, and that is a swing and a miss, but he'll be out since the first base is occupied, but almost picked off at first was Campa, but he got back in safely.
All right, Jesse completely confused himself. You don't have to move on a ball in the dirt because and Brayden could not take off for first because the base was occupied.
Right.
So he's got to be very smart over there. And Fort Morgan, again, the later this game gets against a 3-6 team and you're trailing, even though you're the home team, it gets a little bit more nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Because, again, of offensive ineptitude early in the game. They've had base runners and a couple of hit batsmen and 1 base hit and then a walk there to Jesse Campa, but no advance yet. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kale puts down a bunt like he did the first time.
Yep. So Campa over at first, Langford, and that pitch is outside. Nice stop there by Jay Douglas. Keep that ball from going to the backstop.
We're this deep into a game, Brian. We haven't seen a wild pitch yet.
No.
And that normally happens like by the 2nd inning.
So Campa with his lead over there. Anderson with the pitch, and that is a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Campa doesn't want to get too far off this. Catcher acts like he wants to throw down to try to catch him off base. Now they're going to go over once again. Back in safely is Campa. So he dives in, but under the tag.
That's the difference in this game. A bad pickoff at first. Runner for Thompson Valley got to third, and then a pop fly single when the outfielders were not in tune with each other.
1 ball, 1 strike, and that's going to be fouled back over behind us. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Langford behind in the count.
And you think this is a setup for the breaking ball. That's how he set up Fajardo on the 0-2 pitch, and they're going to try to do more than likely the same here to K.O. Langford.
Anderson checks Campa over at first, and the pitch. And that fastball is going to be a swing and a miss by Langford.
And the ball was about 6 inches outside. Threw him the breaking ball, and K.O. did not read it out of the pitcher's hand. There's 2 down.
So Malachi Bills up at the plate.
Well, hopefully we do have a repeat then of Roosevelt when the Mustangs have a huge 5th inning. But hopefully not trailing 4-0. They're only down 1-0 here.
All right. So Malachi Bills with the single. The lone Fort Morgan hit, and that pitch is way outside for ball 1. Jay Douglas once again with some great movement out to the right to keep that ball in front of him. But Campa at first now with 2 outs in the 4th inning with the Thompson Valley Eagles up 1-0. Throw back over to first, but in safely is Campa.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere with the way this pitcher is throwing over to first. And Hunter and Douglas, or check that.
Hunter Anderson, yep. And that pitch, they're going to throw back down, but in safely is Campa.
Pitch was up and away.
2 balls and no strikes.
Wouldn't it be nice if Malachi gets on and Frank Ortega, who's really scuffled the last several games, can come up with a clutch hit and regain some confidence?
Anderson, and that pitch was up and missed by Malachi.
Malachi Bills has done a good job of swinging at the right pitch this year, but that was not one of them. 2-0 in the count, and he swung at a pitch like neck level.
So Anderson checks Campa over at first. And the delivery, and that catches the outside part of the plate for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 1-0 Eagles here in the bottom of the 4th. See if the Mustangs can advance Campa here with 2 outs. Need a 2-out rally. And that's going to be hit out into center field. And that is going to fall. And that will tie this game up as that will bring Campa around from first. Nice job there by Malachi Bills.
Well, that was a mistake by John Kluss. He dove for that baseball. You dive for a baseball like that and you don't come up with it clean, Brian, it's going to get by you. That's what happened. And that's why Malachi got a double, and now he's 2 for 2 as Frank Ortega will step in. If he had just played that ball on a hop, Jesse might only get the second.
I'm sure he probably would.
And now they might have to check on him. No, he's okay, but I don't know why he dove for that baseball. He had no shot to catch it, as there was plenty of topspin on it, but hit very well by Malachi Bills. And that's a huge hit in this game.
So that evens it up here at 1 in the bottom of the 4th. So the Mustangs with a mini rally here, but enough to tie it 1-1. With 2 outs, Frank Ortega at the plate. He is due. Let's see if he can bring Malachi around. And the pitch. And that is going to be outside once again.
And that time Anderson overthrew it. He was looking to throw it through the glove instead of to the glove.
So 1 ball, no strikes. To the number 8 hitter, And the pitch. And that is going to be hit out into left field. But camping under it out there is the left fielder, Javier Flores. So that will bring this 4th inning to a close. But the Mustangs even it up here at 1 as we go to the top of 5 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. 1-1 as we go to the top of the 5th inning after the Mustangs tie it up in the bottom of the 4th on a double.
Malachi Bills has now taken over the team lead in hitting, by the way, because he's 2 for 2. But now it's basically a 0-0 game, Brian. It's a 3-inning baseball game now.
Yep. So Campa has been effective here in this contest. Well, hopefully he can continue, as it will bring up Jake England, the 3rd baseman, then Zach McVeigh and Riley Suarez.
7, 8, and 9. So you got to get these guys out. And then you set it up for your 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the bottom of the 5th.
So 0 for 1 on a line drive is England. Campa with 58 total pitches. And the pitch. And that's going to catch the outside part of the plate. 4 strike 1. To this leadoff batter, Jake England. Campa with the sign and a delivery. And that is going to be hit out into center field. And that will fall in front of Briggs Wheatley for the single.
Yeah, he hung that pitch. That was up in the zone, and he just waited on it. Now the Mustangs would like to turn a double play.
So Zach McVeigh, he had a single his first time up. 1 for 1 is the 2nd baseman, number 8 hitter for Thompson Valley. Over at first is England. Campa checks on him. And the pitch, and that is going to be bunted, but foul down the first baseline, about 20 feet.
I like what Thompson Valley's doing here, trying to play some small ball as we're approaching the top of the hour. This is KPRB Brush, Fort Morgan, Morgan County's B106. John Beltran with Brian Nickel. Fort Morgan and Thompson Valley tied at 1 in the 5th inning.
Throw over to first, but back in safely is England.
They better be careful. They've already thrown 1 away, and it wasn't worth it because it gave Thompson Valley essentially their only run.
Campa checks the runner and the delivery. That breaking ball is going to be bunted up the 3rd baseline as it is out at first. Nice job there by Frankie Ortega as he comes clear in from 3rd to get that runner over at first. But that will advance England to 2nd.
Will be a sacrifice, 5-3 and 1 down. Good small ball there by Thompson Valley.
So that will bring up now Riley Suarez with England at 2nd with 1 out. And the pitch, and that breaking ball is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Suarez with a single also. One of the 5 hits that Thompson Valley has. 1-5-0 for Thompson Valley. Campa with the delivery, and that ball is going to be hit out into center field. And that will fall in front of Wheatley as they get the ball in. But that will advance England to 3rd and put Suarez at first.
Well, he's hanging pitches right now. That's the problem. You can't hang the pitches, and here comes Flores, the leadoff hitter. And that's not a good sign for Fort Morgan. And now Josh Langford, I think he wants Frank Ortega in at the corner. They don't want that run to score in a 1-1 game in the 5th inning.
0 for 2 is Flores, a ground out and a strikeout. We'll look for a double play right here. Throw back over to first.
They got to knock it off already. The ball is dropped. I mean, knock it off. You're not going to get cheap outs here this late in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to cost themselves a game by playing this Little League stuff here.
So Campa checks his runner over at first. And the pitch home, and that breaking ball is up. For 1 ball and no strikes.
Notice when they got that pickoff in the 1st inning, the chances of getting a second pickoff are very, very slim.
1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, 1-1 in the top of the 5th, and the pitch. That's going to be upstairs for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. As Campa needs to pay attention to his batter. His concentration needs to be at home. And the pitch. And that catches the outside part of the plate for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike. To the number 1 hitter, Javier Flores. With runners at the corners with 1 out. Campa checks his runner over at first. And the delivery home, and that ball is going to be looped out into center field, and that will put Thompson Valley up now 2-1 on that little single out into center field.
Not hit hard, but in the right spot.
So now runners at first and second. Still with 1 out. Yeah, not hit hard. But now lead at 2-1. Do the Eagles. John Kluss, a walk and a fly out. And the pitch. And that is a swing and a miss, but the ball gets by Langford, but no advance by the runners.
I mean, that's another one. Jackson's got to be focused here late in the game. He gets tired late. We've seen that. Of course, we're going to see that on Tuesday when he caught 2 gains, but that's a ball that it's perfect pitch. You cannot drop balls like that and let him get by. He was lucky the runner did not advance.
So Campa checks his runner out at second, and the delivery home, and that ball is right back off of the glove of Campa. They're going to go to first for the out. But self-preservation out there on the mound by Campa.
It's going to go 1-4-3 on that line drive hit by Kluss, and 2 runners in scoring position with 2 down for James Dyken. This is a huge hitter in the game. This could be either 2-1 going into the bottom of the 5th inning, or perhaps 4-1 if Dyken delivers, and he's hit the ball to the right side twice in the air.
Two outs. That ball is going to be hit out into right field. And coming down with it is Cale Langford for out number 3. But the Eagles take the lead here in the top of the 5th, 2-1 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. To the bottom of the 5th we go. The Mustangs down again by a score of 2-1. Levi McCoy to lead off for the Mustangs. He was hit by a pitch his first time up.
Let's keep in mind and pray for John Schwenke, a Mustang who got hurt May 13th, having a follow-up surgery right now.
Okay.
And that's an extensive several-hour surgery, so we hope he's doing fine, and the Mustangs can get him a win.
So the pitch, and that is going to be inside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to the number 9 hitter, Levi McCoy. He will be followed by Briggs Wheatley and Jackson Langford. Hunter Anderson with a delivery, and that fastball is in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. I have him down for 48 total pitches.
Yep, 29 strikes, 19 balls, and has allowed just 2 hits, both to Malachi Bills.
Anderson with a pitch, and that ball is going to be fouled at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now here's the issue. What do the Mustangs do with a breaking ball? They've only struck out twice, but both on breaking balls to Fajardo and Cale Langford. He's walked 1. He has hit 2 batters. Got to watch out for that bender.
Anderson with the sign. And the delivery. That fastball is going to be up to even the count at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Levi read that nicely. And he read the breaking ball nicely 2 pitches ago when he fouled it off.
With no outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Eagles lead at 2-1. Anderson with a pitch, and that ball is going to be swung on and missed by Levi McCoy.
Threw him a curveball, but he was way out in front.
So one out here in the bottom of the 5th. That will bring up Briggs Wheatley. A fly out and a ground out. 0 for 2 is Wheatley. See if we can get something started here as Anderson steps off the rubber. Now back on to get the sign from his catcher, Jay Douglas. And the fastball must have been a little low for ball 1.
Looked like a good pitch, didn't it?
Yeah.
I thought it was strike 1.
So 1 ball, no strikes to the number 1 batter, Briggs Wheatley, in the lineup. And the pitch, and that's going to be up and away. For 2 balls and no strikes, Wheatley ahead in the count. With Hunter Anderson on the mound. And the pitch, and that ball is going to be smoked, but right by the first baseman out into right field for Briggs Wheatley.
Now I'm giving him a hit there.
Yeah.
That was hit really hard, and he tried to backhand it. A backhand stab, so Briggs picks up Fort Morgan's 3rd hit. Now let's see, with Langford and Beltran coming up, if they get the wheels in motion here, with Fort Morgan trailing 2-1 with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning.
So Langford, he is 0 for 2 on 2 ground outs. With Wheatley getting his lead over at first. Anderson with a pitch, and that ball is going to be hit back up the middle, and that will send Wheatley just a second as they hold him up. But a hard hit ball right up the middle by Jackson Langford. There's now runners at first and second with 1 out. Now Nick Beltran at the plate. He was hit by a pitch his first time up and then grounded out to the first baseman his second time up. So 1 out, 2-1 Eagles here in the bottom of the 5th, but 2 on for the Mustangs, first and second. Wheatley out at second, and the pitch. That's going to be hit hard out to center field, and that ball is going to be caught on a nice catch out there by John Kluss. So the runners will stay put.
That's not a good pitch to swing at. That thing was up in the zone, not his pitch, and he didn't hit it off the solid part of the bat. Now there's 2 down. That's not what Nick is there for, and now Jesse Camp is going to have to come through. I mean, that was a pitch that you want to lay off of. Even if it's a strike, that was a pitcher strike there, not a hitter strike.
Yeah. So now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And the pitch, and that curveball is in there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike, but 2 on. See if Kappa can help himself out here. He's showing everything. They have it wrong up on the board as 1 out. There should be 2 outs. The home plate umpire was letting everybody know that there is 2 outs. Jesse Camp at the plate. Time has been called.
Yeah, when you're up there with 2 on and 1 out, you do exactly what Briggs and Jackson did. The ball was down when they hit it. That pitch to Nick was up. And those are the fine things you got to pay attention to.
And the pitch, and that ball is down low, but a swing and a miss by Campa. No balls and 2 strikes. I don't know who's running the board right now, but they're not keeping up with it. As Campa down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Anderson checks his runners out at first and second. And the pitch, and that is strike 3. He can't go anywhere. The bases are...
No, it's 2 outs. They can go anywhere, but he strikes out anyway. They have to complete the strikeout, which they do.
So a strikeout here. The Mustangs come up empty as we go to the top of the 6th with the Eagles leading at 2-1 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Let's head to the top of the 6th inning. I'm John Beltran with Brian Nickel. Brian is composed, and I'm not. The Mustangs trail 2-1 at Thompson Valley. Just, an error early in the game that really cost them a run. And a blown opportunity there, first and second with 1 out, and Beltran with a weak fly to center. Then Jesse Campa strikes out. Those are your 3 and 4 hitters.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to figure this out here. down to their final 6 outs against Hunter Anderson, but Thompson Valley's coming to the plate right now with the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Landon Carlson, who singled and grounded out, followed by Jay Douglas and Kellen Schultz. That's why I don't look at records. Northridge is a losing record. They beat Fort Morgan. Mountain View still is a losing record. They beat them twice. Records do not matter. There's really not a bad team. I mean, Niwot is the worst, but even they have been competitive in a few games. And here's Jesse Campo with pitch number 72, and here it is. Swung on and popped foul and out of play off to the left. As Ortega gives chase, but it's way over the fence. No balls and 1 strike. Engineering and consulting services for all of your projects. Western Engineering Consultants. Strong commitment to their clients' needs sets them apart. Get your project started the right way. Western Engineering Consultants. No balls and 1 strike. And the offering. And the breaking ball is upstairs. 1-1. 2 runs on 4 hits. Make it 7 hits for Thompson Valley. A run on 4 hits for Fort Morgan. The Mustangs have committed the only 2 errors of the game. And the offering. Curveball stays high. 2-1. Thompson Valley took the lead with a run in the 5th inning. We're in the 6th. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. He threw it right by him, and it's 2-2.
The batter had asked for time, but he didn't grant it.
That's too early to ask for, or too late, I should say, to ask for time. Jesse was already into his motion. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The offering. Swung on line, base hit left field. Hung another one. Jesse's hung some pitches here in the last inning plus. Too easy to hit. And it's a leadoff base hit for Landon Carlson. He's given up 8 hits in the game, but again, Jesse has kept his team in the game.
75 pitches. I mean, it's been, as far as counts or numbers, he's got a great number count there on the pitches, but he had the 1 error on the throwing error to first that sent the run around to third.
And watch out here. Jay Douglas is grounded out and doubled. Throw back to first and back in diving. 2-1, top of the 6th inning. 1 on and nobody out here. Thompson Valley is in the lead. Throw back to first, and that thing again had to be scooped up. Again, I just feel like saying something much worse than I want to say. The chances of picking off 2 runners in the same game are so slim, especially late. The pitch, bunted up the first base side, foul. Here's the thing, Brian. There's 2 types of pickoffs. The ones where you're trying to pick off a runner and the ones you're trying to keep the runner close to first. All they're doing is trying to pick them off every time, and that's you're taking a risk. You throw one away. You've thrown 5 away this year. 5. Well, either thrown away or the first baseman has tried to apply the tag too quickly. It's been more of a disaster than it has been a success, and the proof is in the pudding. The pitch, squaring to bunt, and he lays it foul behind the plate. No balls and 2 strikes here to Jay Douglas. 1 for 2 in the game. On deck is Jake Engeland. The Mustangs with a 2-1 deficit. Malachi Bills tied it with a double, but Thompson Valley came right back. The stretch and the offering, and that's in the dirt. Nice block there by Langford. Count is at 1-2. We've hit the 1 hour and 20-minute mark, about an hour 20. Deep into this game right now. 2-step lead at first, throw back to first, and back in diving. Again, those are all pickoffs to try to get the runner.
Yeah.
And I think you have to change it up. Because that's a lot on a pitcher. That is a lot on a pitcher. Turning. You're asking him to hit the target every time. 1-2. Down and away with a fastball. Ball 2, strike 2. Fort Morgan is at Severance on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. They've got to win that game if they lose this one. If they go to 6-5, the playoffs are pretty much going to be out the window. The pitch, called strike 3, a breaking ball on the outer half thigh high, and there's 1 down. Beautiful pitch by Jesse Campa. And for the junior right-hander, that is strikeout number 3. Again, he has not lost when starting this year. He defeated Frederick 3-1 and Roosevelt 7-2. Went the distance against Frederick. Kellen Schultz has struck out and lined out to the shortstop Beltran. He's 0 for 2. Stretch by Campa. And the pitch up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. And we know that Hunter Anderson, he's going to go the distance whether he wins or not. Unless it goes extra innings. Pitched a great game so far for Thompson Valley. Allowing 4 hits. Throw back to first, and back in diving is Landon Carlson, who came in hitting .414 and is 2 for 3 today for Thompson Valley. 1 ball and no strikes. The stretch, and runner takes off, and that is outside. Throw to second will be late because he got a huge jump. It's a stolen base. There was no way they were going to get him. No way.
Nope.
That's the time to throw over there, but Jesse didn't know it. They throw over there, they got him picked because he took off before Jesse committed to the plate. So it's 2 balls and no strikes, and Fort Morgan cannot allow that run to score. When it's a high-scoring game, a 2-run lead is not that big a deal. A low-scoring game, a 2-run lead is a huge deal.
Yep. Runs are hard to come by.
2 balls and no strikes to the number 6 hitter in the lineup. Looking back is Campa. Coming home. That is on the outside corner for a strike. It's 2-1. Two balls and 1 strike to Kellen Schultz. Runner at second with 1 down in the 6th inning, and the pitch. And did he check his swing? The ball's in the dirt. Runner goes to third. The throw, and late. That's a wild pitch. And it's 3-1. Now the infield's got to come in. Infield has to come in. Let's see. They're not doing so yet, but, well, Fajardo's not in at second, but Beltran is in at short. They've got to cut off that run at the plate on a 3-1. And now everybody's in. 3 balls and 1 strike. How about a pop-up here? A little pop-up would be nice. 3-1 pitch. That is ball. A strike. Wow. That's a late call. That pitch got there yesterday, and he called a strike today. 3-2 to Kellen Schultz. Campa approaching the 90-pitch mark. He's a few pitches shy of that. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the offering swung on and fouled off to the right. Yeah, the danger is he won't be able to go the distance. Somebody else is going to have to pitch the 7th unless Jesse gets a few pitches in. Or he gets out of this jam very quickly.
Yep.
Beltran is not available. He pitched too many pitches on Tuesday. A 3-2 pitch. Here it is. Swinging a foul off Langford's glove. Nearly got it by him. It remains at 3-2. Thompson Valley scored their first run in the 3rd inning. Mustangs are running the 4th. Thompson Valley with a run in the 5th. 2-1, a man at 3rd and 1 down. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kellen Schultz. Jesse Campa comes home. Breaking ball is high. It's a walk. It's a walk to Campa, from Campa to Kellen Schultz. Here's Jake England, who's lined out and singled. Let's see how they play the infield now.
Yep.
Let's see if they're at double play depth in the middle and in at the corners. That's normally the strategy defensively. Yeah. Are they going to hold the runner? But, boy, you got to be careful. You're holding the runner and trying to throw back to first. This is where you get concerned. Play conventional baseball. Picking off runners is unconventional baseball. It's going to happen once in a while, but that's not part of the way you retire hitters. You can do it early in a game, but it's rare. Again, I know I mentioned it before, but it bears repeating at this point. 1st and 3rd, 1 out for Thompson Valley in the 6th inning. The number 7 hitter steps in, and the pitch. That's a strike. All speed on the outside edge. It's 0-1. England lined out to Wheatley and then singled to center, so he's gone up the middle twice. At third is Carlson. Schultz at first. Jesse gets a sign. The pitch. Swung on and chopped left side. That'll score a run. Ortega is going to have to go to first for the out. And now headed to third. Beltran's going to cover. He better block that ball. And late. And now coming off the bag, but back on the bag is Schultz, the trail runner. And it's 3-1. They had no play at the plate there. The ball was hit too weakly on the left side. Frank was looking home. Would have never had the base runner. It's an RBI for England. And Thompson Valley with a runner at third with 2 down now leads 3-1. Yeah, he made the right play, Brian. You really cannot. Now, where the Mustangs faltered is that Beltran should have been at third over there before, so the runner doesn't take 2 bags. Zach McVeigh is 1 for 1, a single and a sac bunt, and he takes a fastball down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Fort Morgan has lost at home once this season on May 8th to Mountain View. That was an 8-6 game. And the pitch. Swung on, popped up, foul territory, and running out of room is Bills. It's on top of the dugout. And it's 1-1, and 4-1 would be even bigger.
Yep.
4-1, you feel the game, it's never out of reach. But 4-1, boy, that would really hurt Fort Morgan. So here we go. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 1 across, and 2 down in the 6th inning. And the visiting team, Thompson Valley, leads Fort Morgan 3-1. Langford lays down the sign. And the pitch swung on and fouled off to the right. Now it's 1-2. And Fort Morgan's finding out these games are dangerous.
Yep.
You play these teams with losing records. That's why, how do we open the broadcast? Anybody can beat anybody in this league. It's really not, this team is dominant. No, that's not the way it is. I don't care what your record is. Swung on, lifted towards right field. K.O. Langford coming in to his left. He's going to make the grab, and that does it for Thompson Valley in the top of the 6th inning. However, they score a run on a base hit. No errors and 1 man left. Mustang Baseball is brought to you in part by B&B Appliance as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Mustangs are down to their final 6 outs. Time to get some offense going. It is Thompson Valley 3, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Got to credit Thompson Valley when Fort Morgan scored a run in the bottom of the 4th inning. They responded with single runs in the 5th and 6th. And now lead the Mustangs 3-1, 5, 6, and 7 for Fort Morgan. Brayden Fajardo, who is 0 for 2 with a pop-up and a strikeout. K.O. Langford and Malachi Bills. Bills has provided half of the offense in terms of hits. He's got an RBI as well. The right-hander comes home, and the breaking ball is right there on the inner half for a strike. Bell tie, it's 0-1. Only 60 pitches thrown by Hunter Anderson. Came into the game with only 6 innings under his belt, but an ERA of 0. And the offering, and that ball hit him in the back. That's a good thing. Take that pitch. 3 hit batsmen, Brian.
Yeah.
That's been their best offense.
Yeah.
All right, hit batsmen. All right. Again, whatever it takes.
Yeah, take it for the team.
Well,
you can ice that later.
He went with, and that one hit him in the flesh anyway, in a good spot. 3 hit batsmen, and 2 of those did not score. However, now here's K.O. Langford hitting .375 going in. Bunted out and struck out. He's 0 for 2 the pitch. Fastball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Can Fort Morgan rally from this 3-1 hole in the bottom of the 6th inning? You got to turn this lineup over as well. Short lead at first. And the 1-0. Swung on and lifted towards center. Routine play for John Kluss. To his left, he makes the catch. And again, too many fly balls hit by Fort Morgan. 1 out. Cale is 0 for 3. And here's Malachi Bills, singled and doubled in a run. He really has been by far the most confident hitter for Fort Morgan in this game, at least over a stretch of 2 swings. The other hits from Wheatley and Jackson Langford. The pitch swung on, hit weakly on the ground on the right side. Charging, still charging, gloving, throwing to first, and late. Bare-handing, actually, was the second baseman, Zach McVeigh, and Malachi Bills is now 3 for 3. And that ball was hit so slowly that McVeigh couldn't do anything. He could not glove it.
Nope.
Here's Ortega. if there was any time for Frank to snap out of it, it's right now. And Colin Farley is going to hit for Levi McCoy on deck. Ortega has popped to first and popped to left. How about a line drive here? The stretch and the pitch. Fastball is up and in. Yeah, this is it. I mean, this really could be part of the season for Fort Morgan. We mentioned at the beginning of the week, this week is so huge. You lost to Mountain View. That's a big one. But you can't lose 2 games against losing teams.
No.
You'll be out of the top 24 in the RPI. 1 ball, no strikes, the pitch. And that's down and away. It's 2-0. Here to Ortega. I think Coach Langford has him hitting away, which does surprise me if that's the case. But then again, he's got to get a hit at some point. 2-0. At second is Fajardo. Bills at first. And the offering. And that breaking ball is down and away. That's a great take there by Ortega. That's a great take. He could have gone fishing for that. Hunter Anderson pitching backwards there. He will be taking here at 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes. Anderson looks back. And coming home. Ooh, the ball nearly hit him. And Ortega walks. Fajardo hit by a pitch. Bills with an infield single. Ortega with a 4-pitch walk. And now is your shot. Colin Farley will be hitting for Levi McCoy here in this spot. And let's see, we'll have a conversation on the hill. Let's check out Colin's numbers. He's been good this year. He's been able to put together some quality at bats, hitting .267. And he's driven in 3. And now he's being called upon to come through in the clutch with Fort Morgan down 3-1. The one thing you want to do is keep it away from the pitcher or a middle infielder. You don't want to turn a double play. If this goes 3-1 in the 7th, then you have blown the biggest opportunity, one of the better ones all season, especially with Briggs Wheatley on deck. Briggs has got a hit in this inning, even if Colin cannot deliver. And the infield is a double play depth. Hunter Anderson has had a little struggle now with his control in this inning. He's hit 3 batters in the game, and that was his second walk. The pitch, that's a strike with a fastball right down the middle. It's 0-1. Fajardo, Bills, and Ortega from third to first. 3-1 Thompson Valley in the bottom of the 6th inning. Laying down the sign is Douglas. The offering, and that is a strike right there. That is thigh high with a fastball in the outer half. He's not messing around. He's going right after Farley. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, Colin got a base hit off Chase Prestwich of Frederick. He's a Division I pitcher. The offering, swung on and fouled off to the right. A late swing, but a short swing. That's how he stays alive in the at-bat. And if he can just get that swing over to right field. Colin's first base hit of the season, I believe, was against Northridge down that right field line on one of those swings. No balls and 2 strikes. Anderson at the belt. Pitch to Farley. And the bender is a called strike 3, inside corner at the knees. That's a quality pitch. And there's 2 down, but Briggs Wheatley will hit in the inning, and that's big. Briggs has popped out, grounded out, and singled. If you're going to go down in this inning, you want to do it with Wheatley up there.
Yeah.
Or one of your top hitters. 1 for 3 is Wheatley. You swing at the right pitch, who knows what can happen. The stretch and the offering. Fastball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. And now this wind is kicking up. I'm not sure how it's going to affect the flight of the baseball. Out of the windup. No, now out of the stretch with a 1-0 count. Anderson comes home. That's a strike. Took something off of that one. That's good that Briggs didn't swing at that because he looked like he threw him a changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike. The bases loaded and 2 down in the bottom of the 6th inning. Thompson Valley leads by a pair. At the belt. The offering. Swing and a miss, and the ball gets by the catcher. Here comes Fajardo to the plate. He will score on the wild pitch, and the other runners advance. It's 3-2. Well, that's a big run there. At least Fort Morgan's gotten something out of it. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And if Wheatley can deliver, then the Mustangs can grab the lead here. Boy, what with a massive breaking ball there. 1-2 to Briggs Wheatley. Anderson at the belt. The offering way outside. Oh, that was stabbed over there by the catcher Douglas. Way outside on a breaking ball that did nothing. 2-2. Boy, if that had gone to the screen, then Bills would have tied the game on that wild pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. The pitch swung on and fouled off to the left. A tailing fastball in on the hands of Wheatley. Had a good swing at that. Remains at 2-2 to the junior center fielder. What pitch is Anderson going to come in with? At the belt. And the offering. And that is a fastball inside, underneath the elbows. Ball 3, strike 2. Wow. Heart is pumping right now. Definitely pumping. Bills off of third. Ortega at second. 3-2 pitch. Swung on line. Base hit left center field. Bills scores. Ortega's around third. Headed towards the plate. The throw is all the way through. He slides. He's in there. And Wheatley to second. It's a 2-run single with 2 down in the 6th inning for Wheatley. And the Mustangs lead 4-3. Wow. What a big hit that was. It seems that every time Briggs Wheatley comes up with a hit, it's a huge hit. And now let's see if they can extend the lead with Jackson Langford at the plate. Fort Morgan has taken the lead for the first time in the game.
This is their big inning that they were looking for. Just needs to be bigger.
Langford had a base hit his last time up. He's grounded out twice. Off of second is Wheatley. And the pitch. Fastball is upstairs on pitch number 80 unofficially for Hunter Anderson. Wow, game has turned around that quickly. 1-0, swing and a miss very late on that swing with a fastball. Count is now sitting at 1 ball and 1 strike. Jackson looking to extend Fort Morgan's lead. The pitch, swing and a miss on a slow breaking ball. Totally fooled on that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here to the senior catcher, Jackson Langford. The offering. And that's off the glove of the catcher. He got crossed up. And now to third is Wheatley. That's a pass ball there. 2-2. Got completely crossed up, Brian. That's what it looked like to me. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There'll be a conversation on the hill. Brian, if you want to make the playoffs, you got to win games like this. Now, they haven't won this one yet. Far from over. That's just not a Frank Stallone song either. It's a good one. 2-2 to Langford. The pitch swung on and fouled off to the right, went with a fastball tailing away. Briggs Wheatley has come through with a 2-strike, 2-out, 2-run single to give the Mustangs the lead. All right, Langford digs back in. Got to watch out for that breaking ball. He's got a good one. The pitch swung on and fouled to the backstop. Went again with a fastball on pitch number 85. Remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jackson Langford. The Mustangs were down 1-0, 2-1, 3-1. Now up 4-3 in the home half of the 6th inning. Langford awaits. The offering. Swing and miss on the ball in the dirt. They're going to have to throw him out, and that throw to first is right there as Langford does strike out. However, Fort Morgan has reclaimed the lead. 3 runs, actually their first lead of the game. 3 runs on 2 hits. No errors and a man left. To the 7th we go. Fort Morgan 4, Thompson Valley 3 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. It's not about winning by 5 or 6 runs. It's about winning, period. And the Mustangs lead 4-3 over the Thompson Valley Eagles going to the 7th. Jesse Campa will attempt to go the distance I think Brian might have him with one fewer pitch than I do. I have 95. 64 strikes, 31 balls. He'll face the 9, 1, and 2 hitters, and it doesn't matter that Riley Suarez is the 9th hitter. He is 2 for 2 in the game.
Looks like they brought in Jack Malden.
Well, actually, I think you're right, but I think he's been batting the whole time. I think it's been 15 the whole time, Malden instead of Suarez, but they didn't change the lineup there. The pitch swung on, line toward center field. Wheatley to his left, still going, reaches up, makes the catch in the gap. Oh, Briggs Wheatley covered ground, and there's one down. That's an all-star play in right center field for Briggs Wheatley. He had him shaded a little bit towards left center, and Kale was racing over there. Kale would have never got to the baseball. There's one down. And I think Malden was in there the whole time. I'm telling you, I think they had an issue there, unless he put on a different jersey. Anyway, here's Flores, who grounded out, struck out, and singled. Swung on, grounded to short. Beltran has got it on the hop. He sets, he throws low, but in time, and there's 2 down. As retired as Flores. Here is John Kluss, who has walked, popped out, and grounded out.
You'd think a team that would need a run would be waiting on this pitcher just a little bit, taking some pitches, and they're going right after the first or second pitch.
Brian, you are making as great a point as I've ever heard. I cannot make that good of a point. You're right. No, you're right, because they're going to give him the complete game. He still can throw about 12 to 13 pitches. The pitch, and that is a strike on the outside corner. Now, Kluss walked, then he popped out to McCoy, and then he hit that liner off the glove of Campa that deflected towards Fajardo, and then threw to first for a 1-4-3. No balls and 1 strike. The pitch swung on, popped foul out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. Can Fort Morgan escape? Brian, we played an hour and 44 minutes. Fort Morgan has led for about 6 of those minutes. Yeah. They've either trailed, been tied, and that's it. They've only led for about 6 minutes in the entire game, but it doesn't matter if they can get Jack Kluss out and secure their 7th victory. John Kluss, 0-2 pitch, swung on, popped foul out of play, and a ball up in the zone on pitch number 100 for Campa. Count remains at 0-2. And watch out, this guy's got power with the way he hit his first one. You don't want to hang a pitch and have him tie the game. You want to make sure you get the out somewhere in the infield and secure this victory. No balls and 2 strikes. Be a heartbreaking loss for Thompson Valley and Hunter Anderson, who's thrown very well. The pitch, swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Campa strikes out Kluss, and the Fort Morgan Mustangs have rallied to win the game over the Thompson Valley Eagles, 4-3. Jesse Campa goes the distance. Sorry, Brian. So you like Field of Dreams?
Oh, I love it. Watched it the other night.
There you go. All right, Brian and I will take a break, and we'll recap the game right after this. The final score, Fort Morgan 4, Thompson Valley 3 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. John Beltran back with Brian Nichol and Fort Morgan. The Mustangs rally to win the game over the Thompson Valley Eagles by a score of 4-3 with 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Mustang post-game show is brought to you by Morgan Community College, here to make your dreams become a reality for both traditional and non-traditional students. Check them out at morgancc.edu. Well, Thompson Valley took the early lead in the 2nd inning. And, by the way, the winning pitcher in the game, Jesse Campa, the loss went to Hunter Anderson. And time of the game, I had it at about an hour.
I had an hour 46.
Hour 46. Thank you, Brian. I was trying to look for mine, and I got off page there. An hour and 46 minutes. So Thompson Valley scored their first run in the 2nd inning. It was probably Jack Malden instead of Suarez hitting an RBI single, scoring Zach McVeigh. The Mustangs countered, but not till the bottom of the 4th inning, when they tied the game at 1 on Malachi Bills' 2-out RBI double, scoring Jesse Campa. And then Thompson Valley came right back. Bottom of the lineup got it done. The number 9 hitter, Javier Flores, with a run-scoring single, making it 2-1. 1 inning later, it was 3-1 Thompson Valley on a ground-out by Jake Englund, scoring Landon Carlson, who went 2 for 3 in the game. But then the Mustangs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here's how it went. In the 6th inning, Fort Morgan had a hit batter to begin the inning from Brayden Fajardo. Kale Langford flied out. Malachi Bills with an infield single. Frank Ortega was walk loading the bases. Colin Farley struck out, but there was a wild pitch in there. Actually, the wild pitch, I think, was with Wheatley hitting, making it 3-2. 2 runners moved over, and then Briggs Wheatley on a 3-ball, 2-strike count lined it into left center. We'll have video of that play up on our KSIR B106 channel on YouTube a little bit later on. And that gave the Mustangs a 4-3 lead, and Jesse Campa did his job, retiring the order in the 7th inning, in order in the 7th, including a strikeout of John Kluss as he improved to 3-0 on the season. Campa going the distance, 101 pitches, 3 runs, all earned, 4 strikeouts, 8 hits allowed, 2 walks. And he threw 1 wild pitch. Anderson, meanwhile, went the distance, 6 innings, 86 pitches, 4 runs, all earned, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, a wild pitch, but he hit 3 batters, and that cost him. That ultimately cost him, hitting the 3 batters. Thompson Valley falls to 3-7, and the Mustangs move to 7-3. Mustangs back in action Saturday morning at 11 o'clock on the road against Severance, and that'll be for the Longs Peak League lead, considering these are the top 2 teams right now in the league, Fort Morgan and Severance, and they will play each other, Fort Morgan on the road, coming up on Saturday. But quite a game, Brian. These are games you have to win, knowing what just happened in Loveland on Tuesday against Mountain View.
Yeah, this was a big comeback for them, and they waited till right to the end to get that big inning. But that's what they seem to rely on this year, is a big inning to win it, and they did. He came up with 3 runs there in the bottom of the 6th, and then Jesse shut him down in the top. And you had said that the Mustangs only led for 7 minutes of the game, but they were the most important 6 minutes of the game.
Without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, they took the lead, and then the next hitter, Langford, was retired. He was probably up there for, maybe a couple of minutes.
Yep.
You take the field, and then they retired Thompson Valley very quickly on 2 pitches. They got 2 outs, and then it took 4 pitches to strike out John Kluss. It was 2 strikes. He fouled it off, and then he struck him out. So Jesse Campa did not mess around, and that's why he's pitched so well this year. And Fort Morgan now, with 6 games remaining, is hopefully going to move up maybe a tad in the RPI because of the victory. But Saturday's game against Severance will be huge. For Brian Nickel, I'm John Beltran. The final score once again from Legion Field in Fort Morgan. What a game it was for the Mustangs. They rally from 3-1 down and score 3 runs at the bottom of the 6th inning for a 4-3 victory on B106 over Thompson Valley and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.